Thanks for joining us here on Apocalypse Soon. If you like this podcast, look below wherever you're listening or watching. We've got a bunch of links down there, including YouTube, Patreon, EddiePepitone.com for tour dates. If you want to support this podcast, 10 or 20 bucks will get you to do that. And you can get some exclusive clips from this show. You get some exclusive stand-up from Eddie Pepitone himself. Check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside. We're outside. We're among the people. We're feeling good. We're alive. We're not dead. The tree missed us, and here he is, feeling full of life, footloose and fancy free. It's Eddie Pepitone.
Hello, everybody. We've already checked the tree behind us, and it is sturdy, folks. From now on, when we perform with our back to a tree, we are going to check the tree, kick the tires, if you will. I leaned against the tree and pushed at it, and it is fine, folks. This tree will not uproot itself. But then again, I'm going to be turning around every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Kev. So that was pretty wild.
Pretty wild last week. Yeah, that
wow.
It was yesterday for us, but for you guys it was last week. But yeah, no, we're checking the integrity of every tree. Eddie was pushing on this tree behind us for a while just to make sure it was okay.
Well, yeah, and we were talking about the aftermath and how I couldn't go on with the podcast and how I felt shaken.
Yes.
The rest of the day, and felt sad as well. The death of the tree. I've been coming to this park for like 11 years.
Yeah, it's like the seeing
and
an
that's
old
not
friend.
to brag, folk, that I have that kind of stability. A lot of people move from place to place.
Yes.
Right, Kev?
Yeah.
A lot of people in this end stages of capitalism have to move around a lot, because of running out of money, dodging landlords, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I've been in one place for 11 years. God help me as well.
Yeah, I mean, you've been
God help
coming,
me.
That tree was like watching an old friend try to fall on top of you, It's a bummer.
It was sad, man, and I was shaken for a lot of the day, and my friend said, well, it's like kind of being part of an earthquake,
Yeah.
But it was a bigger than life event, and
Yes.
I don't want to harp on it, but man,
I did a bit about it last night on stage, which felt good.
What was it?
So the bit was I almost died yesterday.
Or today.
Yeah, today. Yeah, it was that that we were in the park. I was doing something very dangerous. I was podcasting, and a tree fell over on us.
People don't believe that shit.
No. And the crux of the joke was, you're in North Hollywood Park. There's a lot of wild characters out there. There's a lady practicing her glow stick tricks. There's a lot of people in tents. And when this tree fell over, it really encouraged me to see all the community kind of come out, because everybody rushed over. I saw one guy, he unzipped his tent, he popped out. He's going, is everybody okay in there? Yeah.
Even the dispossessed were checking on the other dispossessed, Kevin and Eddie, who were... I'll tell you, folks, a lot of people didn't believe us that not having a studio has its downside, and that's one of them.
We're doing extreme podcasting.
We got to let Rob know about that. Did you let him know?
I should.
Send
let
him that
know.
video. Send him saying we miss Fanny because of this.
I definitely will send him that. Flash, the guy that offered his studio to us, saw it. He didn't say anything, but he did like it. He already did a reaction to it.
So we'll put that up on social media today, is it, or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Yeah. I'll put it out tomorrow.
That's going to be a good day for us.
Oh, yeah. I'm hitting all the major news outlets, BBC.
Are you really, though?
I'm gonna tag a bunch of
I think they would
people.
be interested in that.
Absolutely.
And if I can get any kind of vibe, because I'm the one pictured.
That's right. You're in the danger zone.
I was in the danger. I didn't realize that you weren't there. And but you did say run, and that did help me.
I mean, I was just like 3 feet in front of you. I was still.
You were in a bit of a danger zone.
I was in a bit of a danger zone, but I had recreations in my mind of like having to drag you out underneath the tree, and run. I'm like, I'm thank
that
God.
would have made a better video.
Yeah.
If I was pinned.
Yes.
By the tree, and the camera still was standing, and then you were wrestling me, and then firemen came.
Yes.
And then I finally get out, and you hand me a mic immediately, and I go, I'm okay, folks. I'm okay. Let's continue with guided meditation.
Yeah.
Let's get into a guided meditation
Oh,
right now.
I love
it.
And as the reminiscence of past traumas flood your mind and you feel the beautiful breeze on your skin, it's time for another guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
All right, everybody. I hope you're in beautiful, loose-fitting clothing. I myself have sweatpants on that cost $100, and that's due to my father dying and leaving me some money. May that happen to you. May your father pass on peacefully, and may you get his money. And now, let's start relaxing. Let's start. Just shake your body, shake your arms, shake your leg. What I want you to feel is everything letting go. We hold on to too much stuff. For so many years, I held on to change. I'm talking about change, like quarters and nickels and dimes. It was all I had. I used to get out of my car to get gasoline and say, count it. I would throw it on the counter to the drone, and I would say, count it. And he would say, sir. And I would say, where are you from? That's a weird accent. And he would say, I am not counting your change, and I am from Transylvania. Anyway, just kind of let everything go, everybody. I don't want to get into a story but I was holding on to just let everything go. Let everything go. Because, and I want you to have this at the forefront of your mind, we are all going to die. We're all, at one point in the eternal now, we're all going to take our last breath. And then it'll be over. So why not live in joy, live in the eternal now, stop worrying and start living with your first in-breath. I want you to breathe in the fact and breathe in the truth and breathe in the peaceful, joyful, eternal, blissful now. Just breathe that in, the eternal. I want you to forget about the fact that you found a black mark on your shoulder and it's gotten bigger over the last couple of days. Just forget about that. I want you to forget about the fact that you still have a landline and you keep getting threatened by someone who identifies themselves as Ned. Just forget about Ned and the landline and the black mark that keeps growing on your shoulder. And breathe in the eternal, peaceful now. And now, with your first out breath, I want you to breathe out all of the toxins, all of the anxieties, all of the just horrific thoughts that we all manufacture, and none of them come true except for a couple, like that black mark on your shoulder. That one is real, and it could and probably will kill you. But besides those, there are so many thoughts that we keep recycling and regurgitating, and we think we're gonna die. One of them, yes, the black mark. But other than that, no, we're all going to be fine. And with your final in-breath, I want you to breathe in, and I want you to breathe it in long. I want you to breathe in the fact that one day, one moment, you will be no more. There will be no more worries. There'll be no more physical body. There'll be no more bills to pay. There'll be no more relationships to try to manage and juggle. There'll be no more demands on yourself from your father who's passed away, and now you can buy very expensive sweatpants. There'll be no more of that because you will be dead.
Thanks for joining us on another guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
Oh,
That was nice.
I feel like I ended it with a nice message,
Yeah.
if you will.
I got into a nice Zen moment, like I was on mushrooms for a second. I could feel
Portobello
myself.
or
Oh, yeah.
Cornini?
Cornini.
Cornini. You know, Italians love mushrooms.
Yeah.
We love mushrooms, and they're delicious. You know what they're good on, too, is like you chop them fine, and you put onions and green pepper, mushrooms, onions, and, you know, mix them up, little olive oil, mix them up.
Saute.
Saute is the word I was looking for. And I like to mix it up into white rice. You know?
Yeah. That's amazing.
Little, yeah.
You're making me hungry. I haven't eaten it yet today.
Little soy sauce.
Oh, that's amazing. I love cooking. You cook very often?
Not as much. I like to cook as well. But you know what really stops me from cooking? And I'm going to say this is true. Is I have such a small kitchen where I am, and
Yeah,
I feel like
same.
to cook you need a fucking big kitchen. Am I
Yeah.
right about that?
I mean, it definitely makes it easier to have all your tools in a big space, but I always find cooking to be a similar resistance to working out, where every time...
I've been working out.
Oh, I know. No, I know you're doing it, but I'm saying
I just
like,
came from the gym, folks. I don't know if you could see the après after gym glow.
Oh, you got it. You got it. I didn't know what was up, and I saw something's happening. The diamond in your ear is sparkling a little bit more.
Oh, I forgot I put that. It's a cheap fake diamond.
It gets the job done.
You know, I haven't had an earring in for a while, and I was in a pharmacy, and that's not to brag. I have that kind of lifestyle. I was picking up some meds.
Woo!
Some emergency
Big brag.
Zoloft. It was emergency because for some reason my Zoloft has been delayed in the mail.
Oh no,
I don't know what it is.
that is very odd.
Have you ever had? You're not on antidepressants, are you?
Well, I was for a while.
Good for you to get off.
And I've been trying to get off. I'm adjusting all the knobs of my life to see what the fuck I can do.
Yeah.
To just enjoy a beautiful day like today and not get in my own head and all that.
Well, you're
shit.
doing well.
I'm
You're
doing good.
well.
I feel like I'm on the path to recovery, and almost getting crushed by a tree helped that. It really did.
I know what you mean.
Because I legitimately was like driving home after our last show,
tell me.
and I'm just going like,
Wow.
you're lucky to be alive, motherfucker. Like that could have been the end. And what do you?
That's right, because you hear actually on when hurricanes and big storms, a tree fell on
Yes.
Barbara Stevensworth
Yes. Oh yeah.
in Vallejo, or Chuck Thompson in Sunland.
Yeah. And wait. That's close to home.
Oh well, I mean, I just pulled that one out.
And Chuck
are
Thompson,
you in Sunland?
I'm in Tahunga, which is right by Sunland.
You're in Tahunga.
Yeah. But I bet Chuck, when he got crushed by that tree, he was probably worried about.
He had so much to give before that.
He did, but he was probably in his own head about his neighbor stealing his newspaper.
That's
3
right. He
weeks
wasn't
ago,
aware. Yeah.
and just forgot to enjoy life. And I'm telling you, yesterday I'm driving home, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
driving is fun. I'm like, life is good. This is great.
Well, I don't know about you, but yesterday I went driving as well, and I was so alive. I was driving and jerking off at the same time.
That's living.
Yeah, I had one hand on the wheel, and then one hand I was like, I'm alive,
Officer, you don't understand. I almost died today.
Sir, I'm going to ask you, first of all, to put that away. Whatever the hell that is. That's me, Johnson.
It's me, Johnson. I'm living me best life.
Hey, why don't we do an ode to Pepitone?
I love it.
Okay.
And now for a perfume that will make any joy dissipate into self-reflection. It's the Pepitone.
Are you feeling glum? Are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling hopeless? Are you feeling like you've dug a hole for yourself 6 feet deep and you cannot get out of a self-made grave? Well, then we have a perfume for you.
Pepitone.
It is a perfume for the hopeless, for people who are in debt to their eyeballs. This perfume is so disgusting and so rancid and so vile that you will put it on and you will say, I am going to die soon.
Oh, here it comes.
Pepitone. Oh, the Pepitone is a perfume made for the living who want to be dead.
Pepitone.
That's right. If you're about to go to a nightclub and try to get someone to come home with you, and not to sleep with you or to have sex with, but just to come home with you and maybe help you move something, then we have the perfume that you were going to love. It's called the Pepitone. It is made by people who could never make the Olympics. This perfume is made by people who barely can get out of bed, never mind the Olympics.
Pepitone.
This perfume is made by policemen who have taken their lives, yet they're still partially alive due to robotics, and they help make this perfume.
Pepitone.
This perfume is the type of perfume that you sprinkle in the hood of your car after you've killed someone. And you've put them in the hood. I mean the trunk. I'm sorry. The trunk of your car.
Secrets.
I would edit this, but we don't have the money. Oh, the Pepitone is the perfume that does not get edited. It is sold only on rooftops of condemned buildings.
Low availability.
Eau de Pepitone is thrown from a roof down to you, waiting with your arms and hands outstretched. And we throw you the perfume where it will shatter and cover you in a vile, disgusting, rancid essence.
Let it rain on you.
Eau de Pepitone. It is not available anywhere but condemned rooftops. Buy it now.
Oh, the Pepitone. Wish for it today.
Oh boy, that is a perfume that I think a lot of people are gonna start to.
I would love it if we could get just maybe a small batch and actually make some and like use it for the Patreon. Like,
Yeah,
you get a little bottle.
Or you know what we haven't even talked about lately is we have not talked about doing a live Apocalypse Soon.
Yeah, I got a line on one at the Improv too.
You do?
Yeah. We can,
Oh, okay.
We can make it happen. I love doing the
Yeah,
live.
let's do one soon, and maybe that would be a good place to have the little perfume.
Oh gosh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, you know.
We put it on the tables.
Yeah,
At the live
little
one?
even if it's fake, but we should try to make real perfume. Like maybe take like vinegar and
Yes.
and I don't know, cilantro and you know, a couple of herbs like sage.
Yes,
like
some
really
garlic.
make an effort.
Yes.
Maybe commission Rob to do this. I don't know how Rob is doing since Fanny Co.
I mean, I think I don't know. I haven't seen him around. We gotta hit him up.
You haven't. Don't you guys live near each other?
We do, but I haven't seen him on the mean streets of Tahunga. I usually would see him walking around with his hair, and he's letting it fly in the wind. And I haven't seen him in a while. But I should reach out. He was always such a big fan of the show, and
I think he'd get a kick out of the tree video.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely sending that to him after we're done with this.
Yeah.
I'll
let you call the next sketch, Kev.
I mean, since the atmospheric river has taken the ability for 100-year-old trees to just not even be able to grip the ground, I think we should do a driving in the rain.
Oh, good one.
I mean, we might as well.
I didn't even think about it.
And now, driving in the rain with Eddie Pepitone.
It was another rainy night here in Los Angeles. The drought was officially over as I saw all the dead bodies floating by me. If there's one thing that signals the end of a drought, it's floating dead bodies. And I had to get into my Uber/Lyft/ DoorDash / Uber Eats / Bookmobile / Bloodmobile / Food on Wheels / Instacart / Ris, and I had to deliver a Huevo Ranchero full-sized meal, which was taking up the entire front seat of my car. I had to deliver it to Echo Park to an ex-detective who was being kept alive by a series of wires and insults. He'd be hooked up to wires, and at the same time, he had a wife who kept saying, "You're a piece of shit, Norman. You're a piece of shit." And between the electricity coursing through his veins and his wife saying, "You're a piece of shit," it kept him alive. And he only ate Huevos Rancheros, and the rain was coming down like murder. The rain was coming down like a murderous onslaught. The rain was coming down like so many goddamn bats that were being released from a cage onto the people of some small metropolis. You get the idea. The rain was coming down in bunches. And my Uber/Lyft, we already went through that. I started to hydroplane toward the detective. His wife at that point was going, "Your cock is so small, I couldn't see it with the Hubble telescope." And Norman said, "More electric, please." And she turned up the voltage. And then she said to Norman, "You remind me of the back of the balls of Hulk Hogan, who had steroid balls, just tiny, tiny, tiny balls that were dirty and disgusting." And he said, Norman said, "Are my Huevos Rancheros coming?" And she said, "I don't see him." And I knew I had to speed it up. And the rain came down so hard, and I saw a beautiful dame. I saw a dame on the side of the street. She was drowning in a big, big puddle. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if you can call it a puddle at this point, since she was drowning. And I rolled down my window and I yelled, "I'm sorry I can't help you, but I got a Huevo Ranchero to deliver." She said, "I understand, the gig economy is not easy." I said, "Thank you," rolled up the window, and I watched her take her last breath. And I drove, and just then, Norman's wife was saying, "I swear to God, Norman, you are the worst thing that God ever produced. You're the worst. You're worse than a bag full of shit, You're worse than a bag full of shit smeared on a child's face. Norman said, more electric. As the juice flowed through Norman, I pulled up to Norman's apartment and I yelled up to the top floor as the rain cascaded down on me. The rain pummeling me, just pummeling me like a fireman pummeling his son because his son failed math again, and the fireman did not want his son to become a fireman because all the wildfires in LA were taking so many lives of firemen that the fireman, anyway, I don't want to get too into the fireman. I yelled up with the rain pummeling me like the fireman, but I'm not going to get too into that, pummeling his son. I said, "Huevo Rancheros," and Norman screamed, "I'm a bag of shit." I said, "Okay, just buzz me in." And I buzzed in and I took the elevator up and I saw Norman's wife. And she looked at me and said, "You also are a bag of shit." And with that, I got back into my car and drove in the rain.
Thanks for joining us on another Driving in the Rain with Eddie Pepitone.
Ooh, that felt good.
That was a good one. I love it when you get into the sexual proclivities of your of your customers, you know, out there in the gig economy. More electric.
More electric. It's just what I try to do is go into people's lives.
That's right.
You know, like give people our listeners and viewers, give them a peek into the lives of others, you know?
Well, it's so easy to forget, you know? It's so
really
easy to get lost in your own bullshit that you forget that there's a man.
People order shrimp and broccoli, and all they care about is eating the shrimp and broccoli. They don't care about the suffering of others. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't care about the suffering of others, period. You know, it's a defense mechanism.
It's too bad.
We have a genocide going on, and it's so horrific. It's so horrific, and it's just like, I mean, you're just like, do I even have a right to do anything with that going on?
Oh, I get caught up in my mind on that stuff all the time. Like, you know, like the pressure to kind of do something but feel powerless at the same time is it's torture. You know, it really it's no good. And then also feeling bad about that, and then going, what is wrong with you? Like, people are actually suffering. It's brutal. Did you see the protest against the Orthodox Jews in
where?
What's his name? Who's the guy who's the president of Israel?
Netanyahu?
Yeah, there was some sort of like draft type of thing or something, sort of military whatever, and so there was a demonstration.
You really know the issues.
Oh, I know.
I
watched a 30-second video on it.
There's some kind of military draft. It's so crazy. It's so crazy, but my God, the starvation going on right now, it just is fucking mind-boggling. And here we are in a park, and I guess the answer is protest and hit the streets and organize. But
I could barely get out of bed.
Yeah,
so it's hard. It's because I see all this stuff, and the powerlessness of just like, what can
everybody's
I do?
scared to fucking protest, and there has been some videos that, you know, protests in, I think it was northern and LA, you know, out here where cops were fucking being brutal to protesters already.
Yeah,
fucking police, man. They're just tools. They're fucking tools, man.
You ever have any run-ins with the police of note?
Yeah, not really. I used to go on protests when I was younger and against the Iraq War and stuff. And we got into it a little bit with the cops, for sure, you know.
You
have to be ready to go to in the day and age that we live in now, you have to be ready to go to jail, and you have to kind of know how to, you have a lawyer, you have to really know how to get out.
Yeah, you got to know how to get arrested.
But I think this is a good time to do praying for celebrities.
It's perfect. And now, praying for celebrities. Okay, son, the Sandman's a-coming. It's time to get in bed.
Dad.
Yes, son?
Are you my real dad?
Oh, how would we have such beautiful resemblance if we weren't related, son?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I heard you in the basement going, I developed a serum to keep people alive. I heard you cackling that.
I love celebrating, and I love science. And I'm on the brink, son. I'm on the brink of a very big discovery, and I'm pretty excited about it. I appreciate your support in it.
Well, I don't know if I'm supporting it. But I do want to pray for a couple of very, very rich celebrities, if I may.
All right, son. Well, let's go ahead and bow our heads, close our eyes.
Okay.
And go right ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, please, will you please look down on the cabal of people who own private equity firms that are taking over hospitals and other corporations and gutting them for profit. And the thing is that they're getting a lot of bad publicity for taking over hospitals and then gutting them of doctors and emergency services, and the bills are sky high and people can't afford them, but that's their right. I mean, there's no laws against it, Lord.
That's right.
And that's how they're making their money, Lord. And if they're gonna make money, I want you, and I don't care how they make it. They don't care how they make it. They're gutting healthcare for everybody, and people are dying prematurely. However, that doesn't mean that they can't have yachts.
That's right, son.
And several houses, one in Antigua, one in St. John's, where the women are topless.
Sounds like a nice place, son.
It does. So, Lord, please look down on all these private equity owners, I mean, if we, the poor people, and I live in a cabin that says ass injector on the side, I wanted to ask you about that, Dad. What does that mean?
Well, that's Pop's band.
Okay.
We had a ska.
That's what you say, but I feel like there's more to it.
Well, we were a pretty popular ska band. We had a 4-song EP that we put out, and it didn't get a worldwide publication. But I'm grateful for it, and I thank you, Lord, for even the ability to play ska.
Lord, I hear a helicopter. Hold on, Lord. Help! I'm being held against my will. Help! Anyway, Lord, I'd also like you to protect all the people who run NASDAQ and all the stock market people who have very large investments. They need protection. I know it's a rigged game, but it should be a rigged game. I mean, if you have that much money, Lord, then you have to make it grow. And I want those people like Warren Buffett and Mark Zuckerberg and all of those people. I want them to prosper even more than they are, because they're developing robots now that they can have sex with up in their private mansions. And Lord, if there's one thing that rich people deserve, it's to have sex with robots with the bottle of wine that costs maybe 10 grand.
It's their problem.
And yes, and the average person doesn't even have food, never mind a robot. And the only sex they have is putting their penis in a vacuum cleaner and, the Sharknado.
You gotta be resourceful. Gotta do it.
Okay, Lord, I think I'm done. Thank you, Dad, for letting me pray for celebrities.
Absolutely. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. And thanks for joining us another Praying for Celebrities with Eddie Pepitone.
Boy, that kid has a very incredible life. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's under duress there, but he still tries to.
He's not selfish.
He's not selfish.
He's not selfish at all. You know,
I don't know if his priorities are right, but he certainly is not selfish.
Yeah, man. There is an appeal. Do you ever feel a desire to move up to a remote cabin in the woods?
Yeah.
Just get
Even
away.
though I don't know how remote, I want to be,
Yeah. No, you like being connected to the people, which is good.
Well, I get scared in terrible isolation. I do get scared. Once the isolation becomes a thing, like I want to be able to walk to, I want to be able to walk to a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
I want to be able to walk to a Ralph's. I want to be able to walk to a Best Buy.
Yeah.
I want to be able to walk to a Pottery Barn.
Or, I mean, even just this 7-Eleven over here.
I want to be able to walk to a 7-Eleven. I mean, suppose you're in an isolated cabin like that.
Yeah.
Do you want, and you get a hankering for a slushie. Let's say a rainbow slushie.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when you're in that kind of environment, right?
Yeah, you're shit out of luck when you're up in when you're hiding your identity from the world and you want a rainbow slushie.
Yeah. Maybe we should do an Allen Margret.
I mean, I love it. This episode's jam-packed with sketches.
Well, we didn't do many last time.
We didn't.
We were about to do our first one.
We were both kind of putting on airs that we were able to just continue with the show and just like...
Hey, let me tell you, though, I think people got their money's worth.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. All right. Oh, it's time for another Checking In with Al and Margret, the couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head.
Ow! Well, I told you not to move. Ow! Margret, I said don't move. Ow! Margret, this needle will not go in to your main vein if you keep moving. Ow! These medicines keep me alive. I know, so why are you moving? Because the music in the background makes me want to get up and make a party. Margret, you're being silly. Do you want to stay alive or do you want to dance to Rare Earth? I love Rare Earth. I just want to celebrate another day of life. Ow! Ow! I'm trying to inject nutrients that keep you alive, Margret. Oh, Hal, come and give me a hug. All right, just hold it still and I'll give you a hug after I inject this. Here we go. Margret? Margret! Margret! Oh, my God, Margret! Please! Oh, shit! Margret, wake up! Wake up, Margret! Margret, wake up! Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Let me dial 911. Ding, 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 ding. Hello? Yeah. 911? Yeah. My wife. She's not moving. Were you trying to inject life-saving nutrients into her during her listening to Rare Earth? How did you know? A lot of that is going around. She was listening to the I just want to celebrate. Hold on. Margret. I'm awake, Al. I'm sorry. Never mind, 911. No worries. But please don't call here again unless it's a legitimate emergency. Well, I thought she was dead. I know you did, but I'm saying she wasn't. So, shake her a few times. All right, sorry about that. Margret. Hal, I'm sorry to cause you concern, but I did pass out from all the nutrients. Margret, I love you so goddamn much. Let's get to that hug. that we were going to do. Come here, you. Oh, boy, I love you, Margret. Now, Margret, I got to go to my flute class.
Flute?
Yes. I'm learning how to play flute for you. For me? Why? Look, Margret, I think if I can play the flute really well, I'll wean you off of rare earth. Well, okay. The logic is a little convoluted, Al. Margret, I'm not thinking straight. First of all, we're not real. Oh, Al, don't start that old chestnut. No, I mean it. I don't think we're real. I mean, when I was calling 911, I realized I was also doing the voice of the emergency operator. And actually, I'm very conscious right now of doing your voice. No, you're not. I'm doing my voice. It's me, Margret. No, it isn't. It's you. It's me. It's me. It's you. It's me. And with that, Eddie Pepitone was rushed to an emergency psychiatric center where he was laid down on a slab and he was cut open by a surgeon in front of students. One of the students was Tom Segura. Segura was looking at Pepitone, going, "But there, for the grace of God, go I."
Oh, yeah! Thanks for joining us at another Checking In with Allen Margret with Eddie Pepitone.
Boy, that one went uncharted territory.
Yeah, I mean, 2 deaths almost. A near death and a real death.
I really got scared that when Margret wasn't answering out.
I was getting worried too. I was held with bated breath.
Unbelievable.
It was a pregnant pause is what it was. It was very pregnant.
Well, luckily we did the pregnancy test and it came out negative.
Thank God.
But
man. Hey, you want to lay out a bit?
What?
We could lay out here, get a nice little tan.
I heard, and tell me if you've heard this, that it's good to take in sun for at least 20 minutes.
Yes, I definitely for the vitamin D.
And it's regenerative.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And just, vitamin D. And most people, and this is very strange, especially here in LA where there's tons of sun, most people have vitamin D deficiencies.
Yes.
What is that about?
I think a lot of people stay in the comforts of technology
at
their fingertips. Every movie you ever would want to watch on your TV. It's hard to get out.
It's hard to get out.
I got to drag my children out. Oh, look,
it
looks
serious?
like Charlotte.
What?
That looks like your puppy.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Charlie Horse is a little thicker.
I got to drag my kids out and go
You do
stuff. Yeah, I'm like, well,
why? They're just in front of the computer all the time?
My son, he's taken so many AP classes and stuff, so they both have a lot of homework. But when they don't, and they're just on their phones or just watching videos or whatever, I'm always like, let's go up, let's go for a little hike. We'll go break some rocks open.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, you do that? Good for you.
Yeah, we do.
How often do you take them out like that?
I would say at least once a week. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We'll go do something.
Right.
Even if it's just like, hey, we're gonna walk around the block.
I respect you a little more.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, I got to get my kids out of the house, man. It's so hard. It's difficult because they don't want to. But then once we get out there, especially if we go up into the hills and we'll break rocks open a lot and carve our name into, a fallen tree and just all the kind of woodsy stuff.
Yeah.
They always have fun.
Yeah.
But every time when I bring it up, I'm like, hey guys, come on, let's put the phones down. Let's go outside. Let's get our vitamin D. Let's make it happen. It's always just like,
well, good for you for getting out, because I know that you have a very busy schedule.
That's right. I've got to stay up till 4 a.m, smoking pot and drinking with my friends. There's always a birthday party. I'm
always a birthday.
I gotta go. That last night it was my buddy's birthday.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And so it was
it a party?
No. It was a party of 4 of us that were kind of on the town and going from the Improv to the Comedy Store, then to my buddy's place.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How was the store last night?
Store was wild. It was packed.
was?
Yeah, so they were doing set of the night at 10 o'clock on Sundays. And,
Sunday.
Yeah. And so they were doing that, and it was packed. So
nice.
packed, in fact, that everybody that was signed up for the mic had to wait outside in, like, the hallway outside of the original room. You know, that hallway, the outside one.
Yeah.
And the door guys are screaming, like, one at a time. Like, we'll let you know. Come on, get out of the way.
I haven't been there on Sundays for that.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. It was wild. But it's always a weird...
Awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's good that things are happening. You know, this...
True.
Comedy is definitely in a... as far as quantity is concerned, there's a shit ton of people doing stand-up.
There really is, and I partially don't like that, you know, too many people. But comedy has a way of also separating the wheat from the chaff.
Absolutely.
You know, you do that shit for about a year. Some people do it for a month or two, and then they're like, okay, I see that this is not what I thought it was.
Yeah, it takes a while to get that vibe across to some people.
Yeah.
And I love the guys that are completely kind of socially clueless and are not aware of where they're at, or they're not paying attention to the audience laughter, and then they just never stop.
They sound like beginners. Real beginners.
I know guys that have been doing that for a decade. And
oh my God.
Yes, and you see them and they're just...
You would think a friend would pull them aside.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, a lot of these guys, they're like, yeah, I'm not going to let that get me down. Don't discourage me. You know, like... Yeah, I've had a conversation with a guy like that. He goes, I'm probably the most underrated comic in LA, right?
Oh my God.
And I'm just sitting there like wrestling with kindness and truth.
Kindness and truth. Yeah.
Truth won out.
Yeah.
And I just went, I think you're probably rated right where you need to be. And he's like, what do you mean? And I go, just pay attention.
What do you mean?
Pay attention to the audience. If they laugh, you did good. You don't need my approval.
Right.
And
right. It's rough, but so I'm heading to Portland. Actually, when this airs, I'll be back. But
yeah. But
I'm heading to not Portland. I'm headed to Oregon. I'm flying into Salem. Rented a car, going to the Cannon Beach Comedy Fest. So,
hell yeah!
You know, looking forward to getting out to you know, Oregon. Whenever I think of Oregon, I think of real like rugged nature.
Yes.
Do you?
Oh yeah,
especially the coast.
It's beautiful. When you're out there, do yourself a favor. Find a place where the river meets the ocean. In Oregon.
Serious?
Oh yes, there is. The ecosystem in those areas is incredibly unique because it goes from a freshwater.
It'd be funny if you said, when you're out in Oregon, do yourself a favor and check out the internet. The connections there are terrific.
I don't know if you've heard of those website called Pornhub.com.
But in Oregon, it just sings. All right, Kev, I think that's about it. So I just want to tell everybody, go to EddiePepitone.com. I got a lot of tours coming up.
Yeah.
You know, become a Patreon member. Bread and Circuses, folks. Bread is $5, Circus $20. It allows you to see stand-up clips that you would never see.
That's right.
Of me and other goodies.
All kinds of goodies. You get some apparel if you're a $20 member.
That's right.
Which is awesome. I actually want to get one of those shirts.
Those are pretty good. Why don't the hell we get one?
I don't know. I didn't even know we were doing it. And then I saw somebody subscribe and it says, your order's been shipped out. I'm like, what is that?
Oh, shit.
I think Fine Arts set that up. And it's a great
nice.
benefit. Beautiful shirt. Yeah.
And
go over to YouTube, check out all of the videos that we put out. If you want to throw us a bone on some emotional support, put a comment, put a like, all that stuff. Share it with your friends.
Send us an email.
Yes, EddiePepPodcast@gmail.com, and we love getting those. It's nice to hear from you guys.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside.